There are 7 things the most elegant women do when creating summer looks, and what they have in common isn't spending more, it's knowing more. These are details that stylists apply all the time, but that almost nobody teaches outside the scenes. The last trick is the most powerful, so save it for the end. I'll start with the simplest, which is at the foundation of everything, and that foundation begins when you touch the fabric. Trick 1. You look at the wardrobe and think, I have clothes, but I don't know why I'm always uncomfortable in the summer. The blouse clings, the pants wrinkle, the look leaves the house beautiful and arrives deconstructed. This is almost never a style problem. It's a fabric problem. The first of 7 tricks solves exactly that. Stylists look for fabrics that breathe but hold their shape. Blended linen, structured cotton, tricoline, poplin, substantial viscose. These materials allow air circulation without losing form throughout the day. A light blue linen shirt with straight white pants, and a leather sandal, a poplin midi dress with a structured bag and a gold earring. Each look breathes and maintains an organized reading. The rule is direct. Elegant summer clothes need to breathe without losing their shape. In the second trick, there's already something that most women get wrong without realizing. Trick 2. The most common myth is that loose clothes hide what needs to be hidden. In reality, when everything is loose at the same time, the entire body disappears, and what remains is an impression of volume, not elegance. This is the second of 7, and it changes more than you'd imagine. The logic is simple. Volume needs a counterpoint. If the bottom has movement, the top organizes. If the shirt is ample, the pants define. Look at what happens with a matte satin midi skirt. It already has presence, already has femininity. Add a well-cut tee on top. The look balances. Now swap for a loose shirt. What was elegance becomes volume without direction. It's not about squeezing anything. It's about letting one piece command the volume while the other sustains. One side flows, the other anchors. And if you think that already resolves quite a lot, the next trick will surprise you. Trick 3. Have you ever put together an all-white look? Thought it looked great, and when you saw yourself in the mirror, felt something was missing, but couldn't identify what? This is trick 3 of 7, and it clarifies exactly that. The problem is almost never the color, it's the texture. When all the pieces have the same feel, the same shine, the same weight, the look loses depth without anyone noticing. Look at this combination. Off-white linen pants with an ivory-ribbed knit tank and a caramel leather sandal. The colors are almost identical, but the linen has weave. The knit has texture. The leather has a different shine. The eye travels. Now imagine these pieces in the exact same satin fabric. It becomes flat, washed out. This is what stylists call monochromatic depth. When the color offers no variation, the fabric needs to. Another look. A white poplin dress with a structured woven bag and thin strap sandals. The weave of the bag already creates the contrast the look needed. When the colors are similar, the materials need to be different. The next trick solves a trap that most women don't realize they're falling into, and it has everything to do with how you appear to the world. Before we continue, here you don't just learn fashion, you learn the invisible codes that stylists use to make a woman be seen as elegant and important. If you want to keep learning these secrets, click the button below and subscribe to the channel now. Trick 4. And speaking of how you appear to the world, the 4th of 7 has everything to do with that. Think of a common scene. The woman is in front of the wardrobe, excited about a trend she saw somewhere. She puts on the satin skirt, the season's loose blouse, the woven bag, the scarf at the neck, and the different shoe she bought that month. Everything current. Everything beautiful separately. But in the photo, the look has no face. There's too much information to know where to look. Now take all that away and leave only the chocolate satin skirt. Underneath, a well-cut ivory tee and a discreet nude sandal. The result already seems elegant. But what truly makes it work is exactly this. The skirt can be modern because the rest doesn't compete with it. It's the current element with space to exist. Stylists call this choosing the look's update point. One seasonal element, surrounded by pieces that don't compete for attention. The trend enters to bring life, not to take control. This is powerful. But the trick that comes next touches something even more subtle, which is in the body itself, and that changes the lightness of the entire look without swapping a single piece. Trick 5. We talked about balancing the volume of the clothes, and that resolves a lot, but there's something that happens before any silhouette choice. The bathroom mirror. Before you leave, you look, adjust the blouse, and still feel something is heavy, without knowing exactly what. This is the 5th of 7, and what it resolves is more subtle than it seems. The question isn't the clothes themselves, it's what they show, or don't show, of the body. There's an enormous difference between covering everything and squeezing everything. Stylists work on a path different from both. They choose small points on the body to open up and maintain structure in the rest. Wrist, ankle, top of the foot, décolletage. Discrete areas that, when they appear, relieve the visual weight of the entire look. Look at this combination. A beige linen shirt with sleeves rolled to the elbow, straight off-white pants, and a thin gold bracelet. Just with the sleeves rolled, the shirt already seems more delicate, less heavy. Now imagine the same shirt with the sleeves fully closed. The look becomes much denser, without changing anything else. The decisive detail is this. It's not the amount of skin, it's the place where it appears. An open sandal that reveals the top of the foot makes long pants feel lighter. A boat neckline that leaves the décolletage visible organizes the gaze upward. In summer, elegant clothes breathe, and let the body breathe too. Now, there's still something that most people completely forget when putting together a look, and it sits at the base, literally. The next trick is about that. Before the next trick, let me tell you something. How many times have you opened a closet full of clothes and still thought, I have nothing to wear? The problem isn't a lack of clothes. It's that nobody ever taught you how to combine the pieces you already have. That's why I put together a guide with over 150 looks. Tested one by one, using only 15 pieces you probably already have at home. And the best part, you don't even need to think. Just choose the look, copy it piece by piece, and in 5 minutes, you're ready to go. The link is in the pinned comment and in the description. And if you're watching on TV, just point your phone at the QR code on the screen. Trick 6. The shoe seems like a secondary detail. After all, you thought about the blouse, the pants, the accessory. The shoe is just what goes on your feet, right? But that's exactly where the entire production can fall apart. Take a combination that would already work well. A champagne-colored fluid, viscose midi skirt, a white matte silk blouse, and a cognac leather belt. Elegant, light, right? Now put chunky sneakers or a heavy platform sandal underneath. What happens? The eye drops, the look loses continuity, and the good clothes on top seem not to belong to the same woman as the feet. This is the 6th of 7 tricks, and it solves something that most people underestimate until they see the difference. The concept that stylists apply here is that of base continuity. The shoe doesn't need to compete with the clothes. It needs to let the silhouette flow to the floor. Clean straps, matte leather, a slightly elongated toe, colors close to the skin or the clothes. All of this creates a line that the eye travels without stopping. Now the same combination. Champagne midi skirt, white matte silk blouse, cognac belt, with a pointed toe caramel mule. The silhouette closes, the production becomes cohesive. It's not about the heel, it's about the finish. A well-made brown leather flat sandal does more for the look than a $200 embellished sandal. The lighter the clothes, the simpler the shoe design needs to be. The next trick is the 7th, and it's what separates a well-put-together look from a look people truly remember. It's well worth it. Trick 7, and we arrive at the 7th trick. Of the 7, it's the one that most changes how people perceive you. Not the clothes, you. Everything we've seen so far takes care of the structure, the fabric, the volume, the color, the shoe. But there's a moment in the look when the stylist stops and asks, what is this production saying? That's where the summer accessory enters. Not one more accessory. The right accessory. Look at this first outfit. A white poplin midi dress, a caramel leather flat sandal. The look is already good. Now enters the structured woven bag. Rigid shape, short handle, natural straw. The look didn't get fuller. It got clearer. Suddenly, there's intention there. Second look, a light blue linen shirt with straight white pants. Classic. Then we tie a printed silk scarf to the bag strap. Sand with terracotta. That's all. And the look stops being a combination and becomes a styling. Third, a beige monochromatic look, sand linen pants, and an ivory knit tank, an organic gold bracelet, irregular shape. It's the one that signs the entire production. This is the technique that stylists call the summer signature. Instead of adding pieces, you choose one element that explains the intention of the look. The woven bag says refined summer. The scarf says there was a choice behind it. The bracelet says elegance that doesn't need to shout. Avoid mixing more than one of these elements at the same time. Accessories without structure, with plastic finish, or elaborate knotting that draws more attention than the look. What you saw today is exactly what separates a well-dressed woman from a woman that people stop to look at. Save this video because these 7 tricks applied together will transform your summer wardrobe for good. Tell me in the comments which one you'll use first.